Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California. I've been going crazy now trying to get the feeders full. This is unbelievable. I want you to see this. We are at the end of December. Now, normally I don't see this until January to February, but these birds almost act like they might be migrating. Thousands have come in. Now, actually, their numbers have dropped from just minutes ago by the time I grabbed my camera. I just put out an extra maybe 10 feeders out there because so many of them were coming through. Can you see them back there? I know I put one right here, which is blocking. I've got him here in the window. I've got him going across there. I've got him where you can't see him. But minutes ago, there were hundreds and hundreds of them just feeding and then taking off and going into the citrus trees that are over there and everywhere. So I don't know if these are birds coming in because we do have a new storm that's coming. It's going to last, they say, 5 days once it starts, though it wasn't supposed to start today, and now they're predicting rain. So I don't know. It's very clear. It's been very windy and warm this morning because we have this Santa Ana winds blowing here in Southern California. Oh, I hope you can see all this. They're all over. Hold on, look at this. That's a zip tie. I zip tied everything in place because of all the winds. But see, even back there, look at this. Being 9:30 in the morning, normally there's less birds at this time because what they're doing is they're feeding out in the gardens. Now, I know it's not raining right now, so why they're doing this and the behavior, I don't know. Now, lots of these birds will migrate. They'll head towards Alaska. They don't all go that far. They can go all through Northern California up into Oregon, Washington, and then some, of course, will go through Canada and into Alaska. But the only reason they would be migrating now is if we're going to be warm or warmer than usual earlier. And believe you me, nature knows better than us a lot of times. Now, we're warm today. We've been 9 degrees over what would normally be the temperature for us. I mean, we've been in the 70s and now about 58 to in the low 60s at night, which is quite warm for winter. So are we going to have a warmer or maybe more abundance of food on the West Coast and they're starting to head to where they're going to nest? I don't know. Now, if that's what they're doing and they're coming from wherever and heading up north, I should say, not south. They're going to head up north. If I said south before, I meant north. Then they would do a pit stop here. They could stay here for a day or two. They could stay here for weeks. And maybe they're coming from the south, heading north. They could have been further down. They could have been in Mexico. And they're coming through here and they're going to pit stop here for a while. I'm not sure. We've had a lot of odd things going on right now. Oh my goodness. Yesterday, we had Juncos throughout the house. These little beautiful sparrow-type birds that eat seeds and insects when they have babies. They came into the doggy door while I was outside, and Gary was collecting them and letting them loose all over. They were in the bedroom. They were in the bathroom. They were in the hallway. They were just everywhere. Just everywhere. And so he collected them and tossed them all out nicely. Some of them he caught by hand. Some of them we opened doors and we shushed them out. Why they did that, I don't know. They just all marched in. I would have loved to have been in the house and seen that. But that was odd because we haven't had Juncos here for years. Years ago, I'd stand out here by my kitchen window and look down and see them all over the ground. Well, they disappeared for many, many years. Last year, I believe I caught a glimpse of some in the bird garden, but not here. Now they've been all over my deck. They've been coming in by pairs, but obviously yesterday when we were in the garden working outside, they came in by a group because there was a whole group of them, males and females, and probably young ones too. So for whatever reason, they decided in the house they wanted to go. It wasn't raining. It was a beautiful day yesterday. So I don't know what all that was. Is this not cute? I love this. So I'm going to see and kind of mark it with me on this video, and let's see what happens to the West Coast. This is not saying across the United States where you've got the Arctic freezes and all these things going on. No, no, no. This would be West Coast where they would come here, feed, coming from the south. They would be coming from Mexico or wherever they're coming from and start coming up. They could do a pit stop here and then continue on north, or they could stay here. Lots of them stay here. The Annas nest all over here, and the Rufus. I mean, we've got them everywhere. So we'll have to see what happens. Look at this one's watching me through the screen. He's like, what is she doing? Looks like a little female there. A little swollen. Kind of early to nest, but you know what? The one that nested here on the window, she did nest in December on the window. She had the greatest spot. She had all the food she wanted. She was out of the rain, and she had 3 nests here. So it is possible they're getting ready and they're thinking about leaving. Now, a lot of them have dispersed. Look at the feeders back there. I don't know if you can catch it with my camera. They're bubbling. They're drinking so much food that they're literally bubbling. So I kind of wanted to tell you what is going on, because it's more of a question. What do you think's going on? Do you think they're just coming in because there's a big storm? And if, you know, I mean, what are they going to do? Feed heavily for the big storm? I mean, they can, of course. They could try to put on some more body weight, but they can hide in all these trees we've got here now. The citrus trees, the avocado tree. We've got all kinds of trees here, and they just dart back and forth in the hardest rain. They don't care because they're under the eaves. They're under the umbrellas. I've got even kids' toys back there. It was like a Barbie doll type umbrella set. I found it it wasn't for Barbie, but a doll like that. Found it at Dollar Tree, and I set those up for shelters. They're little outdoor beach umbrellas, but they're plastic, and they've worked really nice. Bought them a year ago. So I'm not sure what they're doing. I don't know. We'll see, because they do feed very heavy when it's raining. Very, very heavy, because they can't find anything. They go out in the garden. A lot of the insects are hiding under leaves and stuff, maybe places they can't get to. And then, of course, the flowers. They get droopy and soggy, and if we have wind and rain, then they can't get into a lot of the flowers. And, you know, they're kind of like people. They get a little lazy sometimes and think, hey, she's putting out food. I'm just going to go see what she's got and hang out here until the rain stops. So a lot of them do that too. So I wanted to share that with you today. I will keep you informed on the storm. They're calling it a pretty bad storm. They said we could get 5 inches of rain, but that could be an inch a day, because they're calling for 5 days of rain. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure the garden's gonna love it. As long as it doesn't come in like 5 inches in one day, then we'll be okay. But there has been a lot of issues with landslides, boulders letting loose in a lot of different places. And that does happen after you have too much rain. And we've already had a lot of rain. I'm not sure, I didn't ask Gary, but I think we've already had over 5 inches of rain with the last one that came in last week. So it may not be here, but it could be coastal, different areas. Once the ground gets saturated with water like that, a lot of plants can let loose if they're not doing well. Trees, and then of course boulders. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to be hunkering down here in the house, and what I'll be doing is feeding hummingbirds. What, 15 hours a day? Because I even do it at night. I get all the feeders washed and cleaned and get ready for them so I can keep running back and forth, filling the hummingbirds and keeping them happy. If I don't keep them happy, guess what they'll do? They could leave. They could go somewhere else where somebody else will keep them happy. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. And if you don't have hummingbirds, but you've got other birds, most certainly put out birdseed. We put out birdseed to help them all through the winter. And then we also do it in the spring and summer so they can feed their babies, because they need food too. Bye-bye.